Hello there, and welcome to episode 11 of What If Vader and Starkiller Killed Palpatine, and then Vader ruled the galaxy. Episode 11, which is the last episode before the finale. I thought there were going to be 2 episodes before the finale, but I was able to combine all of the biggest plot points that you need to know for the finale into this episode, so we only got one more episode after this. It's kind of crazy because we've been doing this series for a while. So, yeah, everything's really coming together. We're back to a more classical form of, cutting between the different perspectives and following the different storylines in one episode. And this episode is completely focused on getting everybody ready for the inevitable showdown on Malachor. So, yeah, I don't really want to give anything away, but, yeah, let's just get on with this episode. We open on Kashyyyk, where we see Galen, Leia, Ahsoka, and Quinlan standing over the graves of their fallen Jedi allies, where they have placed the ashes of their old friends. As a side note, at this point, Galen is wearing an outfit very similar to the one he wore at the end of The Force Unleashed, while the rest wear something resembling Jedi robes. They have helped put out the fires from the battle, and have helped many of the Wookiees recover from the attack. However, Kashyyyk was still torn apart. "What do we do now?" Quinlan asks. "We found Yoda. He said he wouldn't join us, but he did tell us we should go to Malachor," Ahsoka explains. "Wait, which Malachor?" Voss asks. "There's at least 5 different planets called Malachor in the Malachor system." "I'm assuming Malachor Prime, the first one, since Yoda didn't give us any planet number," Ahsoka reasoned. Galen, who has been quiet this entire time, finally speaks up. "I'm going to kill him. I'm going there to kill Vader, and none of you will stop me." Ahsoka and Leia both turn as they go to argue, but Galen cuts them off. "If you're going to still hold on to the idea that he can be saved in any way, then you might as well lie in the graves with the dead. No monster of death like him is worth saving." "So you weren't worth saving?" Leia asks, as her anger rises just a tad. "You came to my home, tried to murder my adopted parents, tried to kill Master Kenobi and Voss and the Jedi we buried were still willing to give you a second chance despite everything you've done. And you're going to honor their sacrifice by throwing all of that away?" Everything was now silent, as Leia and Galen stared each other down. "Look, I understand you're angry, but killing Vader isn't going to make things better for anyone." "Those Jedi were the only ones to give me a chance at life. And that was taken away," Galen argued. "But you're refusing to acknowledge the idea that Vader may be just like you, trapped behind that mask, desperate for the same peace you had." Galen turns and begins to walk away. Arguing with a teenager was the worst waste of time he could have right now. "I'll accompany you all to Malachor, and I will be there when we face Vader, but I can't convince you that I'll just stand idly by." We cut to inside Crimson Dawn's personal yacht, as we see Kira looking out as she sees the Knights of Ren's ship flying back into the hangar. Suddenly, there is a flash, and all of the security cameras go dark, and all the comms are down, as Kira rushes to try and get them back online. Slowly, we begin to hear blaster fire and the sounds of lightsabers carving through flesh, and screams overtake the ears. Kira reaches for 2 vibro swords as we hear the fighting growing closer and closer with each moment before everything goes quiet. With a loud crash, the blast door is torn open, and Luke and Maul walk through with their sabers ignited. Luke is holding a bag, which he throws to Kira. She opens it where she sees the severed head of Ren. "Your conniving mind created a well-thought plan to actually try the impossible of overthrowing me," Maul spoke. "But there is one thing you forgot when forming such a plan. It's impossible to overthrow me." Luke gives somewhat of an angered look to that, as we see Kira leap onto the table and towards Maul, wielding her two blades, as Maul simply lifts her up into the air with the Force and snaps her neck. Now that that's out of the way, I suggest we go back and begin the work ahead, Maul suggests, as the two renegade Sith return to their new ship. We cut to Kashyyyk, where we see all the Jedi packing their stuff and loading it above the rogue's shadow, as Galen returns to meet up with Quinlan. Is there something you need, Merrick? Just answers. When we first fought here on this world, where you and the others pulled me back from the darkness, you used this form of fighting against me. It was as if you turned my own rage and emotions against me in a loop. Yes, it's a form I learned during the Clone Wars. It's called Vapad. It's a variant of the Juyo form, developed by a great Jedi Master. Its emphasis was on using the opponent's dark rage and turning it back in a superconducting loop. Could you teach me how to use it? Voss looks hesitant for a long moment. You're still going to try and kill him, aren't you? Galen nods. I know it's not the Jedi way, but I'm not going to let anyone else suffer his wrath. Well, I'm no Mace Windu with the style, but Vader killed my family, and I'm not fully into the idea of saving him either right now, and I know enough. The two activate their lightsabers as we see a montage of Quinlan training Galen in the Vapad style, as Merrick slowly but surely gets better and better. Remember that you control Vapad. It doesn't control you. Believe me, I've seen what happens. And what did happen? A great Jedi Master who helped develop the style lost control. He turned into a bloodthirsty maniac who also happened to train me in the style. Galen nodded as he absorbed the lesson and continued to train. Finally, we see Voss unleash some rage into one of his attacks as Galen turns the emotions back and knocks Voss to the ground before Merrick helps him up to the ground. Nice job. Thank you. We should get going. We cut to Nar Shaddaa, where we see Maul and Luke both meditating on the dark side, as Maul instructs his apprentice on how to channel his rage and focus it through meditation. Suddenly, both of them open their eyes, as they sense someone tapping into the Force. Someone is here. They both get up and scour the room, finding nothing. Nothing isn't good enough. After a long moment of searching, a purple blade of a lightsaber flashes to life as Luke ignites his own crimson blade and deflects the attack. As they spar for a brief moment, we see that the figure is indeed Mara Jade. Maul orders his apprentice to stand down, seeing a potential new ally. And who might you be? Mara Jade, Emperor's Hand. And I really need your help. We cut back to inside the rogue's shadow, where we find Leia, deep in meditation, as we are taken inside her mind, where we see her looking around some estranged universe within her mind. Half of it is in peace and prosperity, where life thrives, while the other's half is filled with death and chaos, and in the center is a strange whirlpool of balance. We see a figure standing in this whirlpool, as Leia tries to connect with them. The figure moves out, and although we cannot see their face, we can make out by their attire that this is Luke Skywalker, who she is reaching out to. The figure reaches out his own hand as he tries to connect, before suddenly, Leia's meditation is interrupted by Ahsoka. Is everything all right? Leia nods and gets to her feet as she tries to explain what she's been seeing. I keep seeing this figure in the darkness. It's as if our minds are connected in some way. And the closer we come to going to Malachor, the more these visions become clear. I think we're meant to meet there on the planet. Do you recognize the figure at all? Leia shakes her head. He feels familiar, yet I've never met him. I can't even see his face. I only sense rage and chaos within him. Perhaps these visions are a look at the future that is to come. Ahsoka suggests. Maybe going to Malachor will bring more destinies together than we thought. Leia nods as she gets up. What happens if Galen does try to kill my father? Before we try and save him. Galen was brought up with the mindset of killing all enemies without the idea of redemption. Maybe we can try to get to Anakin first and show him, but if things go wrong, I'll keep him at bay while you talk to Anakin. How will you know my father will turn away with the dark side from me? We've never even met. Anakin will search his feelings. He'll know you're his daughter, and family means everything to him. More than his apprentice. Galen and Voss board the ship as Juno Eclipse launches the ship into air and into hyperspace. As everybody is preparing, Quinlan speaks up. I have a question for both Galen and Ahsoka. So you were both trained by the same master, or at least the same man, once while he was a Jedi and one while he was a Sith, and you both use your lightsabers in a reverse grip. Is that just how Skywalker trained you in lightsaber combat, or is it just pure coincidence? Ahsoka and Galen look at each other, realizing the irony of that. I began practicing the style early on to help me with blast deflection, Ahsoka explained. I learned through my sparring sessions with Proxy that using the form was rare and created unpredictability that could catch an opponent off guard. Interesting, Quinlan said, as they all went back to doing their own thing. We cut back to Nar Shaddaa, where we see Luke and Mara sitting down and getting to know each other, while Maul is meeting off with Xizor and Jabba. So, you tried to kill Darth Vader, and your ally betrayed you, so you chose to run away like a coward? Luke asks. Mara shakes her head in frustration. No, I realized I couldn't defeat Vader on my own, so I chose to live and fight another day until I got the chance again. After I escaped, I realized the Empire would be hunting me, so I began seeking out powerful people who could help me. I saw your masters battle with the bounty hunters on the HoloNet, and thought you both could be helpful allies. Well, we did just take down Crimson Dawn, and I claimed leadership of the Knights of Ren, so we're pretty powerful, Luke boasts. We're also about to return to Malachor to retrieve some powerful artifact. Mara's intrigue is opened as she hears this. You mean the ancient holocron? And what is that exactly? Luke asks. Mara rolls her eyes as she gets to her feet. Your master really didn't educate you, did he? A holocron is where Sith Lords store their knowledge of the dark side. The one inside the Malachor Prime Temple houses the knowledge of a Sith named Darth Tarnus. It contains the knowledge of various ancient rituals dating back to the years of Naga Sadow and Marka Ragnos. It's presumed to be the last of that knowledge that remains. Luke takes in the knowledge as Mara turns and looks to see where Maul is speaking to the other crime lords, and as she frowns. Are you sure you want to give your master that kind of knowledge? And what do you mean by that? Luke asks with a grimace. Mara turns to meet Luke's gaze. Your master isn't even a true Sith. He was an assassin trained by my former master who is left for dead. He's a relic of the past with only half a mind of sanity left, grasping for whatever power there is. He has nothing left in this galaxy. He's only using you for a tool for ends he'll never reach. To be honest, I have been thinking about turning on him and taking his power, but I've never attempted anything yet. He's too powerful for me to fight alone, Luke admits. And if we work together, we'll be more than a match for him, Mara proclaims. The two take a moment to look at Maul before Mara looks at Luke again. I never got your name. Luke Skywalker. Skywalker? As in, Anakin Skywalker. Luke nods. That was my father, yes. You mean you're the offspring of the Chosen One himself, the highest midichlorian count ever seen in a mortal being. Your potential is even more than you might think, Luke. If we eliminate Maul and take that holocron for ourselves, your power might be unstoppable. We cut to aboard the Death Star, where we see an Imperial officer tell Grand Admiral Thrawn that the station is fully operational. Thrawn then receives a message from Emperor Vader. Grand Admiral, I will be departing from Malachor for a while. There is a whirlpool of destiny that collides there. Of course, Lord Vader, Thrawn responds. Once the message ends, Thrawn turns to the officer. Prepare the Death Star for hyperspace, set course for Malachor, and prepare the superweapon for a fully charged blast on the planet. It's time to finish what Tarkin and I started. And that is where this part ends. It's all leading up to Malachor. So this episode was a lot shorter than I thought it was going to be, but the finale is going to be huge. seriously, you're going to want to have that finale. You're going to want some snacks. You want to be ready for that because it's going to be a pretty long episode. It's by far going to be the longest. But everything's coming together. I am really excited for the finale because shit hits the fan when it comes to the finale. It is crazy. It is the stakes are higher than they ever have been before, and it's the ultimate conclusion to this story that I've been wanting to tell for quite some time. And you guys actually get to see the finale of that story. You get to see how one small act of Vader and Galen killing the Emperor brings all of these destinies together to this one planet where everything is just going to go crazy. So, as a Christmas present to you all, I know not everyone celebrates Christmas, but as a holiday gift for everyone, I will be dropping the finale at some point on December 25th. On Christmas Day, at some point on Christmas Day, I will drop the finale. I'm going to work like crazy to get it ready. And obviously, I want everyone to spend time with their families on Christmas Day. But just as my holiday present to all of you, it will be the finale to this series. So I am super excited to tell that story. I'm super excited for you guys to see the finale, or listen to the finale, because it's more of a podcast thing. And I just can't wait to see the reactions. I can't wait to see how people enjoyed the series, what they thought of it, how they feel of it now, and where people think these stories could continue, or where these characters' journeys could continue. So, yeah, this has been Dimon360, signing off. See ya.